Hello and welcome back. So last time we made shooting. Well, we have some problems with this shooting, mainly if I disable maximize and play and run now. You can see if I'm shooting these bullets, they just spawn and they never get removed. So they basically travel infinitely, and that's not good for our game because the CPU will be calculating these objects, so it's a waste of resources. So we'll be fixing that, and we'll be also adding some music. Mainly a shot sound effect, so when we shoot, it plays a sound. So I went ahead and made a folder called sound, and I will import a new asset here. And I'll just navigate and get the shot sound and import it into Unity. Now if I play this, you can see we made the sound for you guys for shooting. I think it's good enough, but of course you can make your own if you like. So let's click on the player character and add component, add a audio source. Audio sources are, well, sources of audio. Basically, we can play this, just disable play on awake, and we have a lot of these parameters here that we can change later. But for now, I'll just leave them like this. And I'm going to open up my script, and on the player character, I'll get a reference to the audio listener. So I'll say audio source, and I'll call this maybe audio S, and when the game starts I'll say audio S equals get component audio source. And now if we go to shooting, whenever we shoot, we want to simply say audio S dot play one shot, just play one shot. Play one shot, and here we can say the audio clip, which is the shot sound. And we can do it like that. We need to specify the audio clip as well, so let's say public audio clip and call it shot sound. And now copy this shot sound here and just paste it inside of the play one shot here. And now go back into Unity. On our player character, we will now have a shot sound. Just drag our sound into that, and if I run now, you can see if I shoot, we hear the sound effect. And now let's go ahead and fix these infinitely spawning bullets. Let's go ahead and create a script. I will call this script def timer. And let's just create a public float called timer. And in the update method we can say timer minus equal time.delta time. And if timer is less than or equal to 0, I want to destroy game object. Okay, let's save the script and go back into Unity. Now let's go to our prefabs and find our friendly bullet. Let's add a component and add the script we just made, so def timer. And if I just reload this script, you can see now we'll have a timer here, and if I say 2 seconds, we can put this script on basically any object and it will instantly behave as a timer. Now if I run the game, and if I shoot, you will see these bullets will disappear after 2 seconds. Okay, but I also want the bullets, I want to create a particle effect before the bullets explode, so we have a better feel. Let's go ahead and create a particle system. Let me just position properly. Okay. So I want this the emission not to be rate over time, but rather in bursts. So I want, let's say, a minimum of 40 particles and a maximum of 100 particles. I want the shape to be a sphere. I want randomized direction to be true. And I want the simulation speed to be much faster, so maybe 4. and the start size will be much smaller, like that. And let's just set the color to something like red. Okay, this size is maybe too small, let's say 0.3. Okay. And now we can make a prefab out of this particle system. I will call it friendly particle, and I will drop it down here. Just be sure to disable looping, because we don't want our particle system to be looping. And let's now go to our to scripts and get our def timer. Now let's create a reference to public game object particle. And before we destroy the game object, I want to instantiate particle at transform.position with transform.rotation. So now if I go to prefabs and select my friendly bullet, now we have a particle parameter here. Let's just drop our friendly particle in there. And now if I run the game, you can see we're creating the particles, but we don't actually see them yet. So let's go set the timer on the bullet to maybe 0.5 and maximize on play the game. Now we still can see it. Oh, we see the particles now. Okay, that's much better. But we again have a problem with these particles, the same problem we had with the bullets. So if I just continue shooting, you'll see that we have a lot of these friendly particles and they're just standing there doing nothing. But we can fix that easily. We already made a script called def timer. So let's go ahead and on the particles, add a component called def timer, our script, and set the timer to maybe 3 seconds. But here's something weird. This is asking for a particle. Now it wouldn't make sense to destroy the particle and then create it again. So to fix that easily, let's go ahead and in our script, right before we create the particle, let's check if the particle exists. So what this does is basically if particle exists, so if we dropped anything into this here, it's going to execute this code. So if we did drop a particle on the bullet, it will create the particle and then destroy the object. But if there isn't a particle, it will just skip this line and then destroy the game object. So let's go ahead and save this, and now back into Unity. You should see now everything will be working properly. You can see there it's exploding. And if I just wait now, you can see we are cleaning up our hierarchy. So we're saving on performances. Now the game is feeling really good. It's getting somewhere. So in the next episode we'll be adding enemies and we'll be killing them. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you then.